All right, and then any comfortable cross of the legs, supporting the spine. Have the hands resting on the legs. Palms either flipped up or down, your choice. Relax the shoulders. Make sure the chin is level to the floor before you close the eyes. And you're going to take some deep breaths in and out. Focusing on the lower belly area. Allow it to come forwards as you inhale. And as you exhale, just gently pull that lower belly in towards your spine. Keeping the shoulders relaxed. Just continue the breath cycle like that. Awareness in the lower belly. And as you continue this pretty active breathing, very mindful, see if you can soften into your facial muscles, into your jaw, a little bit more into those shoulders. And then become aware of your sitting bone. From that base, drawing a length up the back of your spine, taking your awareness up your back, up through the shoulder blades, up the back of the neck, up the back of the skull, right to the top of the head, right to the crown. Just imagine there's a gentle pull from the top of your crown upwards. So you're finding a little bit more length in your spine, space between the vertebrae. And with that length, just allow your muscles to soften, keeping your form relaxed. Breath easy in the body. Take a moment to set an intention for this class. Take a final deep breath in and out. Opening up your eyes. Come to change the cross of the legs, so that we can just keep things balanced overall throughout our practice. Sitting again comfortably, interlacing the fingers. We're going to circle the hands. All right, so because we're using the blocks for our practice, there's going to be a lot of pressing into them with our hands. Want to make sure that we've got a good warm-up going for the wrists. So you're going to inhale and lift those arms now. Keep circling. And exhale, bring it down. Try through the nose, inhaling and exhaling. Otherwise, the mouth is fine. That's all that's available to you. Going again. Inhale, lift the hands. Carry on circling those wrists. Exhale, bring them down. Keeping that spine lengthened. Now change the wrist circle direction. A little bit of brain gym there. We inhale, still going up. Soften the face muscles. We're doing that one more breath cycle. Inhaling up with the hand. And exhaling. You're going to shake those fingers out. So flicking and shaking. I'll just do it slowly to show you. It's a flick and it's a shake at the same time. Flicking and shaking, flicking and shaking. There we go. Let's take a nice breath in as we swoop the arms all the way up. Take the hands down to the sides again. And then onto the knees. Now you're going to use this activation of hands on knees to pull the chest forwards, coming into a cow back. Open the throat. Inhale. Exhale, we press back through. Now I'm on the block here. If you want to just remove the block if it's more comfortable, you may. Inhaling up and exhaling. What the block does in this position is it supports that spine a bit more by giving a bit more space in the hips. So you carry on going forwards on your inhales and back on your exhales. Trying to keep a looseness in the jaw, a length in the neck. We're going to do one more breath cycle. And then come to find that length again through the spine. Keeping the breath moving throughout the practice now. A slight engagement in the lower abdominals. You're going to come remove the block. Take the legs out in front of you. Hands behind you, and just tap out the back of the knees just to get some circulation there. Keep the chest open. And then 3 directions, or 3 times in each direction. Ankle circles. 1, 2, 3. Direction change. 1, 2, and 3. Right, swing the legs around next to the body, all across the ankles, come forwards. We're setting up for our cat-cow with the blocks. So your 2 blocks now are going to be where your hands would normally be. And we're going to keep the blocks for our vinyasa flow as well. So this is where you would want to place them when you've got a full palm on them. This is a medium block size. And we are going to go from here. So knees still under the hips, hands under the shoulders. Start with your cat back. So you tuck your bum, reach your spine up towards the ceiling, push into the blocks. Stay here. We're going to just take a breath in and out before moving again. Really pull that lower abdominal muscle group into the spine. And then we go to our cat. So send your bum bones back, drop your belly, draw your shoulders back. Blocks give you a lot of space. And you exhale, moving into your cat. Release your head. And you're going to go again into your cow. Nice. And tucking around to your cat. Now, as you do a few more breath cycles to your own rhythm, make sure you don't have shoulders in your ears here. You're really reaching those shoulders back towards your bum. Trying to create that wave that we started with. And move it through that spine. Doing 2 more rounds. And after your last cat back, come to find a neutral spine. You're going to walk your knees back 1 step each. Keep your shoulders exactly where they are, stacked above the wrists. You're going to tuck your tail under slightly, and then you're going to have little push-ups. Keep those elbows pinned in towards the ribs, and then lift. And we drop down slightly, and we lift. Now, the important thing here is the length in the neck. So you should be able to move the head relatively freely around. You should feel triceps working here. Keep gripping into the blocks, also with your fingertips to help support those wrists. Make sure that belly is picked up towards the spine. We've got 2 more. Just keep breathing. Once you're all the way up, take a breath. And we're going to send the bum all the way back down to the heels, dropping into an extended child's pose. Your bum might be quite high off your heels. It's fine. Just keep it here. Drop your head. Take a breath cycle in and out. Now, when you transition back with the weight into the hands, round through a cat back. So bring your tailbone, tuck it between your legs, come up through your cat back. Bring your shoulders above your wrists. Now we're going to go through a little bit of a back bend. So you're going to drop your tailbone down towards the mat. Keep tucking it between your legs. And you choose. You don't have to go too much further than this, or you can open up the shoulders. So we're just going for an up dog prep here. Make sure you can still move the head around, no tension. Take a breath in. And then scoop those lower abdominals in. You're rounding back through a cat still. And then we press back again, taking the weight out of the wrists. We're going to flow through that again. So you're going to come all the way up as you inhale through your cat back. Shoulders come above your wrists. Grip with your fingers now. Send your pelvis down. You choose where you stop. For those who are going the full Monty, keep your knees down, but draw your shoulders back. Take a breath in. Tuck that tail again, press back through your cat back, and drop your hips down. Releasing the wrists for a moment, opening up the front of the shoulders. We're going again, so reach up through your cat, inhale. Now slowly lowering the hips, draw the shoulders back. Listen to your body here. Grip with your fingertips. We stay for a breath in, a little smile maybe. And we go back to our cat. I'm going to do just 1 more of those. Let's just stay here, long breath cycle. All the way out. Round up again through your cat. Take a breath in as you do. Bring your shoulders to be above your block. Start to drop your pelvis forwards. Draw your shoulders back. Proud chest. Take a long breath. And we press all the way back to your child's pose now. So walk the knees in a little bit so you can keep your hands on the blocks. Sit back onto your heels. Your knees can be wide or together, completely up to you. This opens up the shoulders a little bit more, having the hands on the blocks. If it's too much, Just take your hands down next to the blocks and drop your elbows to the floor as well. 2 long breaths in and out. Remember to just keep sending the breath down into the base of the body. Relaxing the jaw. Last breath in and out. Now you're just going to sit back up onto the heels, circling your wrists. So some people find the blocks pretty wrist heavy. Please keep doing wrist releases as we go. You're taking another long breath in and out here. All the way out. Now remember to get that lower belly engaged. We hold it like that, we're coming forwards. Remember the knees are always an option for anybody. If you want though, you're going to step back and meet me in plank. Now shoulders above wrists, grip with your fingertips. Plank, the bum isn't up here and it isn't down here. Tuck your tailbone, shorten your front body, press back through your heels, free up the neck. Take a deep breath in. Now everybody bend your knees and send your tailbone high, 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 high. And then once you're in your down dog back, you can start to straighten one leg at a time, adding the heels down, walking out the dog. All right, now if you find your blocks keep slipping in your down dog holds, just take your hands down onto the mat, walk back a little, and then get the down dog that suits you. You can just keep moving in these positions from the blocks onto the mat and from the mat onto the blocks. Okay, so we're here for another breath. You can start to press the heels down if that's in your practice. If your hands were off the blocks, bring them back on. We're going to come forwards to plank. So rounding up through a cat back, think of what we just did. Once your shoulders are above your wrists, press your heels back, tuck your tail still, lengthen your neck. So from the heels to the crown, you're nice and strong here. The blocks give us a little bit more lift. Take a breath in. Now 3 times we're going to go to down dog. Bend the knees, scoop the bum, and straighten the legs if that's in your practice. Forwards again, through to your plank. Inhale. Bent knees, send the bum high and down dog. And again, roll up through the spine, through to plank. Hold it, find the position now. Inhale. Bend the knees, scoop the bum high. There we go, one more of those little flows. So all the way rounding up, shoulders above wrists, press the heels back, plank, breathe in. And last time, all the way to down dog. All right. From here, we're going to lift one leg. Now, it doesn't have to go high at all. Take your right leg just off the mat, or you lift it up, 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 breathe in. Knee to nose, round up through that plank again. Take it back up 2 more times. Inhale. Exhale, bring it forward. Strong through the fingers, remember that. Last one, inhale up. Exhale, bring it in, hover, hover, hover. Place the foot down. A little bit more space here. Try and walk it in between the blocks. And then you're going to bend into that front knee, drop the back knee down as well. Now before we come up, we've got space here. So push into the fingertips. Open up the chest. Tuck your tail as well. Press your bum forwards. Scissor the legs together and then lift the arms. Just coming up off those wrists. If you want, please circle your wrists as well. Now we're not just falling into this position. We've tucked, we've scissored the legs, nice and active. Take a breath in. And the hands coming back to the blocks. Now they give us an extension of our arms, so use it. Push into the blocks, straighten the back leg. Hug your knee and your foot into your chest. And then you step back, plank. Now we're either going to go plank down dog, your choice, or shift forwards to the front of the toes, bend the elbows slightly, drop into a chaturanga, flatten onto the top of the feet, and go to your up dog. This can also be on the knees. All right, so you've got the options here. Listen to your body. Breath in, breath out takes us to down dog. So you can skip that part if you prefer. Now we're holding down dog for a few breaths. So if your blocks are slipping, bring them back, step back a little, and hold. Breathe. Send the breath deep into the base of the lungs. When we have our down dog hold, you have an option of dropping to the knees and taking a child's pose of choice as well. One more breath cycle, so hands back on the blocks if they're not already. And we go into the left leg. So we take it up, inhaling. It doesn't have to go high. With your best try, and then knee to nose, come forwards. We're going again. Inhale, send that leg back. Exhale, shoulders above wrists, lift the knee. Last one, all the way up. Exhale, bring it forwards. Now lift, lift, lift. Lace the foot down and then just wiggle it forwards for those that need to. Bend the front knee, lace the back knee down, and here we are on the fingertips. Encourage the opening in the chest. So we're lengthening the back of the neck. Tuck the tail, scissor the legs. And with that strong core connection that you would have made now, lift the arms. So these transitions between postures, it's often where we get injured if we're not moving correctly. And it is challenging to move slowly in the beginning, but it will build up some nice strength for you over time. So let's take another breath here. Hands back to the blocks. Now here's our time to practice, so go slowly. Straighten the back leg, press into the blocks, pick up the foot, hug the knee for a moment, and then send it back, plank. Option to go straight to down dog or shift forwards, bend the elbows, flatten onto the top of the feet, and find your up dog. Right. Take a breath. Keep tucking your tail, and we transition back to down dog. We're going to hold now, so if you prefer to come off the blocks, come off. Take your down dog position. The out breath through the mouth is always there for you if you need it, to let off some extra steam. So use it when needed, and then come back to the nose breathing. All right, one more cycle there of breath. So if you're off the blocks, come back onto them. All right, so we're going to lift that right leg back up. Inhale. Bend the knee, bring it forwards, and step that foot between the blocks again. Now the back leg is going to stay straight. We've got the blocks here, pressing with your fingertips. Now for those who need a little bit more lift and you find you're still compressing, come to a long block. So that's where you just go right onto those edges. You lift the block up. Now that back leg is straight. You're pressing in through the heel, looking down, lengthen the back of the neck. We hold it. Run this lunge. Deep breaths. Okay, so it's strong through the legs here. Get that same sensation of scissoring the legs, tucking the tail. Scoop that core in towards your spine, then lift off the blocks and reach the arms up. All right? Back heel is pressing back. Sink those hips down a little bit more if possible. Circle the wrists if you need as well. Take a nice deep breath. Reach forwards with the arms. Flatten your blocks again if they were lifted. We're going to practice hovering that foot in. So into the hands, press there, hug the foot, send it back. Option to go straight to down dog, otherwise inhale. Chaturanga, come forwards, bend the elbows, flatten the feet, and you're into your up dog. Just take 2 breaths here before we go back. All right, when you're ready on your next exhale, through a cat back, tuck your tail, and you go to your down dog. You're not going to hold for long, so keep your hands on the blocks. Inhale and exhale. Left leg lifts as you breathe in. Knee to nose to chest. Step the foot to the front. Press that back leg down, and if you need, you come onto the long block position, or you've got the middle block position, or you've got low block position. Your option. Free up the chest, or make sure we can still breathe down to the base. Now scissor those legs together. Think of tucking the tailbone, and then the arms should just float up once we've got that strength. Circle wrists if you need, move the head if you need to release some tension. Smile, that also helps to relax the face. Sink those hips down a little bit more, but still press the back leg out. And one more breath like this. Keep your form, just reach forwards with the arms. Flatten those blocks again if they were lifted. Press the hands into them, hug the knee into the chest, and we step back to plank. Always an option to flow, otherwise straight back to down dog. You inhale, otherwise with knee forwards. Exhale, chaturanga. When you're ready, you come to your up dog, 2 breaths. We're all going to take a child's pose from here. So drop to those knees. Take them wide though. Bring the blocks a little bit closer towards your body so that your elbows can rest on them when you sit back. And you can release your wrists completely in this position. Drop your head. Now, if it's too much of a pull for your shoulders and the front of the arms, just take the blocks away and have your normal child's pose. And here you're breathing deeply again, sending the breath down through the body, making sure that that belly is still responsive to your breathing. Another long breath cycle. And then you're going to restack, come all the way up. If you were sitting back onto the heels comfortably earlier, then you can just stay there like this. Otherwise, just come up for a moment like this. You're going to open up the chest. So even if you're up on the knees, doesn't matter, just open up the chest. Keep the chin level to the floor, look over your left shoulder, breathe out. Come to center as you breathe in. Look over your right shoulder, breathe out. Come to center, breathe in. Circle those wrists once or twice, and back onto the block. So shifting back to their right position. We're taking our down dog to transition further, so you can bring those knees underneath you, tuck your toes, and then send your bum back. Okay, we're going to move a little bit further from here, but let's go through that flow that we've been practicing. Right leg lifts to breathe in. Knee comes forwards, lift, 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 and place the foot down. Back leg is straight for this one. You're propping yourself up on your fingertips, lengthen your neck, scissor your legs together. Inhale, you lift your arms. Nice. Okay, just a length here and a breath in. Now you're going to reach forwards, find your blocks, prop them up to their longest position, and then you're going to walk your back leg in a little so that you can straighten your front leg. All right, now if you have a lot of flexibility in your body, you can maybe even drop down to the lowest blocks for our pyramid. But first give this a try. Press in with your fingertips, so we're really on the length here. Wiggle your hips around. You can have the back toes pointing out slightly, as if you were preparing for a triangle even, but make sure that that back hip isn't sticking out, it's pushing forwards. So wiggle those hips and find the position that suits you. If by now you think, I need a bit more of a stretch, you can drop down. Always an option, even without the blocks. But what's nice with the blocks is we can keep our spine long. So you create this positive tension by pressing into the blocks, drawing the shoulders back, and really focusing on the breath in the body. So wherever you are, whatever height of the blocks you've chosen, breathe. Relax the jaw. Keep wiggling the hips if that was serving you. Never want to get stuck in our postures. All right, we'll take another breath here. Bend the front knee. Flatten those blocks to their low level, ready for our hands. You're going to press into them with the fingertips or with the palms, keeping the front knee bent. We're transitioning to step back through a prep for standing splits. So you're pushing into the blocks, looking down. Come to balance for a moment, just on your front leg. The back leg is just off the floor. And you're going to bend that front leg even more and reach back, reach back, reach back, step back. And you'll be back into our runner's lunge. Inhale. Hug the knee in with the foot and we step back to our plank. Now we've got our flow. So breathe in if you're going with me, otherwise straight to down dog. Exhale forwards and chaturanga. We inhale into our up dog. And we exhale back to our down dog. Just one breath cycle here. Next inhale, left leg lifts. And exhale, knee to nose. Place that foot down. And we're first finding the length through the spine. Onto the fingertips here. Press the back leg away. Scissor the legs. And then we're coming up. Reaching the arms high. Keep active in those legs. Draw the shoulders away from the ears. Loosen the neck. Take another breath here. And we're reaching. Now taking your blocks, placing them on that high level. And you're just going to walk that back leg in, 1 or 2 steps. Set yourself up now for your pyramid. Do what we did on the other side. Come onto the fingertips, onto the tallest level of the block. Wiggle those legs, wiggle the hips. And then see where you need to be. If you want to fold, of course you can fold, but just try this length first. Remember your back leg, that hip mustn't be sticking to the side of the mat. You bring it forwards. If you want to flatten your blocks, of course, please do that. More important that we find a position that works for our bodies, where we're feeling a stretch where we can still breathe without creating more tension anywhere else in the body. So another long breath here. And then we're bending that front knee. Flattening the blocks again. And here's our transition to step back through a prep for standing split. So press into the blocks with fingertips or with palms. Come to balance onto the left foot in front of you only. Hover up the right leg. Keep bending your front leg though, and you're reaching back, reaching back, reaching back into your step. There we go. Front knee bends back, leg straight. Open the chest, breathe in. And let's hover that knee into the chest. Then we have our plank. Flow of choice. Inhale, you're coming with me forwards. Exhale, we drop to a chaturanga. Inhale, we're opening up the chest, up dog. And we take ourselves back to down dog. 2 breaths. Last breath out. And then you're lifting the right leg up again. Inhale. Knee into chest and step forwards. Now we're going a little faster through this flow. Back leg is nice and straight. Lift the arms. Just to come off the wrists for a moment. Lengthen and inhale. And exhale, we come down. Setting up for our pyramid. So find the position of the blocks that suits you. Control your step forwards. Find the inhale to lengthen the spine. Exhale now, everybody just fold forwards into that front leg. Hold for a breath. All right, then lengthen that spine again as you inhale. The block that's now in your right hand, walk it to the inside of your right foot. Take your left hand onto your hip. Turn your heel of your back leg in slightly, so the hips are now open to the side. And you're pushing into the block to stack the shoulders. And here we're going for our triangle, but we're getting into it through a reversed position. So really stack those shoulders. We don't want our triangle being like this. If you need a bit more space, come onto the fingertips even. There we go. So opening up the back hip, opening up the top shoulder. For those who want, you can reach up and look up as well. And then for those who want to work a little bit more strength into the side body, if that strength is already there to enough degree, you can just hover up the bottom hand and see how that feels. Support, and then no support. If the neck is tensing a little too much, look down, please. You take another breath. And then you're going to reverse everything you just did. So hand back to hip. Get everything to point down to the mat again. That back heel also should line up a little bit more with the toes. Both blocks come forwards. Flatten them. Bend the front leg. And now you can lift that back leg up, 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 up as much as is available to you. And we're going to step back slowly into our runner's lunge, opening the chest. Inhale. And exhale, we're going through our flow. So here we go. If you want, you just go straight into your chaturanga on that exhale still. Inhale for your up dog. Exhale your down dog. 1 breath cycle. Next to lift is the left leg. Inhale. Exhale, step it to the front. We're scissoring those legs together and we're lifting the arms. There we go. Beautiful. Hold it there. Breathe in. Then reach forwards. And take your blocks onto their highest height. And we transfer ourselves forwards with that back leg so we can find the length in our spine for our pyramid. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, we fold over. Hang the head and stay. 1 long breath in and out. Then just lengthen yourself back up here. Left hand and block come to the inside of the foot. Hand onto the right hip. Now as you press into the block, you stack your shoulders and open the hip towards the side of the mat. If you need a bit more space, you're onto the fingertips on that block. Keep pressing into the back heel as well and really opening up, opening up, opening up. Option to lift the hand and the gaze. If that's too much for you, keep the hand on the hip and then give it a try. What happens if you just take the hand off the block and place it back down? No matter if you're on the fingertips of the palm, no matter the height of the block, just give it a try. A lot of work into the obliques needed for that. Okay, so if the arm was lifted, let's all go for another breath. You then bring it to the hip and we just reverse everything. Everything faces forwards and down. Replace your blocks for your hands. You're going to come for an exaggerated transition back to a runner's lunge. So you press into the blocks, lift the back leg, inhale, and exhale, step it back. We pause again to lengthen the spine on a breath in. And here you're going for your flow. So stepping back, dropping to chaturanga if that's what you're going for today. Opening your chest on an inhale. And we're exhaling all the way back to down dog. 2 deep breaths in and out in your down dog. And then move again with the right leg, lifting, inhale, 3-legged dog. Exhale, bring it forward, step it between the blocks. Back leg active, arms lift. Take a nice long breath in here as you just free up those hands, maybe even wriggle the fingers. And we come forward again. Now we know the drill, so let's take those blocks to the highest point. Press into them and just try hover for a moment. It's still a prep for standing splits. Place the leg down behind you. Realign the weight between the legs. Lengthen your spine on your inhale. Fold for your pyramid on your exhale. We're going to do that again. So lengthen up on your inhale. Fold on your exhale. Now if you feel you're in the position comfortably enough, then just stay. Otherwise, one more of those lifts and lowers with the breath. Inhale. A little bit like that wave we practiced earlier. And exhale. Now, as you hold over time in your postures, you'll be able to go a little bit further as well. So you might find the blocks already even, now that we've done this a few times, go to a lower level for the hands. Just staying here for another 2 rounds of breath. And you'll take the blocks back to the level that you were working with for your triangle. Just first lengthen the spine before we go further. Now engage into your core. Place your back foot how it should be for your triangle. Bring the right block and hand to the inside of the foot. Pushing into it, hand first goes to hip. Open, open, open. We restack and we go. Your triangle is very, very active. You should have felt it already if you picked your hand up off the block. To hold the spine in that position and not collapse, you've got to work your obliques here on the sides. Okay. So we're taking another breath in and out. And adding on a little bit of spice in the next posture. So we're going to bend that front leg a little bit. Now look down. We're going for our balance. So we take our block, we place it in front of the foot, and we slowly transition the weight into the hand, and then we lift that back leg up. Now if you want to just practice the lifting and lowering of the back foot, you just do a few little lifts and lowers, tapping the floor and lifting. Otherwise you can lift and hold. Always the smile. Open up the hips towards the side. Push into the block. So you get that lift through the shoulders. All right. So listen carefully. You're still in your balance. We're going to step back and go to warrior 2 from here. You'll leave your block behind. So bend your front knee. Reach back with your back toes. Keep that back finger set, reaching back, and lift up. Warrior 2. You can find the warrior 2 that suits your body. Breathe. Loosen up your neck. Right, so we're trying to get even breath as soon as possible in our postures. You're now going to reach forwards. Keep the front knee bent. Find the block again. Keep it on its highest height just to test it out. And we're pressing into it. It's still in front of the leg and we're reaching up. So unlike our triangle, our front knee is bent, the hips are a little bit more open here. Those who want, you can lower the block to a medium height or even a lower height. All right? Of course, if you don't need the block, you've got the floor there, but just have a little practice of what it feels like with the block. If a bind is in your practice, take a bind just for a bit of fun. All right. If you were in the bind, come out. Just a quick one. Another breath here. Now we're going to just swim the hand over the head, finding both our blocks now. Lift the back heel and just reset those hips to be forwards in our runner's lunge. Okay, find the length in the spine. Flatten those blocks, get ready for your hands. We've got our flow coming. So hug the knee in, step back to plank as you inhale. Exhale, we come forwards, down, and up. And we press back to down dog. Now those who want an extra flow, come forwards again to plank. Drop down, go to another up dog. We all meet back in down dog for another breath cycle. Lovely. Our left leg is going to lift now, inhaling. Exhale, step it to the front. Squeeze those legs together, scissor them, lift the arms. Beautiful, holding here. Deep breath in. Reach forwards. Find your blocks, come to the high height of them. And you can exaggerate your little step forwards for your pyramid pose. Lift the back leg, place it down. Now lengthen that spine onto the fingertips if you need. Otherwise, whatever block level suits you, inhale. Exhale, we fold. Keep your hands where they are. We're coming back up. Inhale, lengthen. Find that wave with the spine and the breath. Exhale. And again, an option. You either just stay where you are now or one more little wave to lift on the inhale and exhale to fold. You can move the blocks to a lower height if you want now. Just really releasing the back of the neck, breathing into that stretch behind the leg, softening the jaw. Take another breath in and out. Bring the blocks back to the height that you work for triangle, just to lengthen the spine, press in. And then we're going to come into the triangle. First, just take the back leg and position it correctly. Block comes to in front of the left foot with the hand. Hand goes to the hip. We open the hip first, open the chest, and we reach. Now, your hand and block might be lower down, might be right on the highest height. You choose, you've got your length in the spine, your breath is easy, your jaw is relaxed. One more breath in and out here. So you're going to look down now, you're taking your block, placing it in front of the foot, bend the front knee, and very slowly transition and take the weight into the hand. Now that back leg might just do a little bit of lifting and lowering, a bit of tapping up and down, just until you find a little bit more stability. And then you press into the hand, lengthen through from the crown all the way to the lower toes. Press into the hand to lift and stack your shoulders. Half moon balance. Find another breath here. Now we're going from here to a warrior two. So bend your front knee, reach back with the toes, keep reaching with the back hand. And here we are, warrior two. Readjust your legs as needed. Settle in, loosen up some neck and shoulder tension. I'm all about these waves in the body. Just helps to release the fascia as well. Take another breath round. Now we're going to reach forwards. Find the block again. And let's just start at the top height, the highest height. Reach the arm up. We're going for our extended side. Keep pressing through that back leg all the way down. For those who want to try, you can take it to the medium height. As long as you're not sinking, falling, and compressing in your spine. Those who want, you can try the lower height. Now push into the block so you can lift and lengthen through the arms. And of course, if you tried the bind earlier and that's in your practice, you want to give it a try now, not for long, just for a breath. If you're in the bind, come out. We will do one more breath in and out here. Now you're going to swim that arm over the head, reach it forwards. Pick up the back heel, restack your hips to face forwards, reposition them. Bring your blocks just to lengthen out the spine by drawing the shoulders back, pushing into them with the hands. Nice. Have them underneath the shoulders now, ready to step back. Inhale one more time here. And we're going to go for a flow. Option is to go to down dog. Otherwise, chaturanga. Inhale for your up. And exhale your down. Option again for one more of those flows. This will be the last sequence we do with this. Inhaling forward. Exhaling to drop down. Inhale, opening. And exhale, down dog. Right, so we're here for a few more breaths in down dog before we get onto our buns. If you want to come off those blocks, come off those blocks and just hold the position now to get symmetry back into the body. Equal left and right. Length through the center of the spine with the breath. Loose jaw, relaxed face. Last breath. And you come onto your knees. Take them wide, big toes to touch. In the child's pose we did earlier with the elbows on the blocks. So sit back onto your heels already. Have your elbows on the blocks. Your hands just rest over the front. So that's already a counter pose for the wrist action we've had with all the weight bearing in them. Drop the head, releasing the chest through the shoulders. Again, if it's too much of a pull in the front of the arms, just release off the blocks. Have your elbows on the mat, even next to your legs. And you're focusing on sending that breath deep through the body now. The breath has a way of resetting so much from our nervous system to our physical selves. You're going to find 2 more long, deep breaths as you loosen into your face a little bit more, allow your shoulders to settle even. And just slowly coming up. Again, if it's uncomfortable sitting back like this, then please just be up on the knees. You're going to circle your wrists very gently, take them up above the head. Look up as well if that's comfortable for you. Breathe in. And we bring them down as you breathe out. These gentle movements just to release any wrist tension that may have built up through all of that practice of weight bearing. So you're going to have your block again under your bum. Sitting. Okay, so seated forward folds. A lot of people think it's about touching the toes. So there's a lot of compression that happens in the upper back rounds and it's very uncomfortable for most people. So I'm going to show you the modification, which is wonderful for the block. Seated forward fold will help calm down the nervous system and just bring the heart rate back also to a steady, regular beat as well. So bending the knees is important and propping up the hips. So 1 or 2 blocks. If someone's very tight, 2 blocks. Otherwise, 1 block is fine, knees bent. Now the idea is that we keep the spine long and work the abdominals to bring us forward. So without the hands now, you're going to have them just resting next to you. You're going to lengthen up on your inhale. And then as you exhale, pull yourself forward from your belly button. Try to reach your belly button between your legs, your chest also over, between. It's not forwards, it's up. Okay, then whenever your hands are, just keep them hanging. Now, once you're in the position, you can release the head. The hands assist us eventually. We're going to come back up and try another way. You're going to then choose which one you want to hold. Knees are still bent, you're on your block still. You inhale, lengthen. Your fingertips are behind you now, and as you exhale, same idea. Belly button comes forwards, pulls your lower back forwards, and you push into your fingertips. Now try not just stick the chin forwards. It's, again, not about touching the toes. We're trying to open up, lengthen, and get the hinge here at the hip joint. Right? Keeping that spine in its neutral curves in the beginning, and then once you're in the position, you can just release. There's a lot of work happening in the fingertips to push us forwards here. Coming back up, breathe in. Knees are still bent. As you exhale, come forwards, come forwards, come forwards. Now bring your arms forwards without rounding your spine. Just bring your arms forwards. Let them drop to wherever they get to. If they touch the toes, they touch the toes. If they touch the legs, like mine, they touch the legs. Then you pull back with the hands so that your whole spine comes forwards, not just your shoulders, and you leave your spine behind. Whole spine comes forwards. Feels a lot better. Beautiful compression happening with the breath, stimulating into the organs. Then, of course, you can release your head and just melt into the posture that you found. This is for tight bodies. For those who are really flexible, let's just come back out. You're going to take the block, place it in front of the feet, so it's an extension of your arms with straight legs, and you're going to just pull that block towards you. So you can try that with straight legs now. You can try any of the positions I've just given you as your Paschimottanasana, your seated forward fold. Hands behind, hands just hanging. You use the core first. The hands on assist after, and then we just relax into it. Okay, so you take your position, come forwards, and then wherever you get to, just allow yourself to stop. When you focus on that breath, you can use the hands and make more active. You can completely surrender by just releasing the arms. You're only going to be here for 2 more breaths. So whatever you've committed to, just relax into that. Just engage that core again. Come up safely. Hands are going to go behind you. Just to press into those fingers. Open up the chest. Breathe in. Still seated on the block, you're just going to shift yourself over to the right side a little, so that your left bum cheek's kind of in the middle of the block. If you're needing 2 blocks, so you're making a little bench for yourselves, you don't have to worry too much about shifting over, you're just going to sit in the middle of both blocks. If you have 2, might as well do that. Otherwise, you just keep shifting one side to the other side. Left leg is going to bend underneath you, right leg comes across if that's part of your practice, otherwise just in front of you. Now you're going to pull into the front of the leg. We're not twisting yet, but we are getting there. Pull and bring your spine to lengthen. Now propped up on the blocks, a lot more space for the hips. So we can actually twist effectively with a lengthened spine and not compressing again around. You're going to inhale. As you exhale, rotate towards the right, so towards that bent leg. And either just continue to hold with one hand, taking the other behind you for a bit of a prop, or you can hook the elbow there. Many options here. You can take it to any pretzel-like position you like. Obviously, if you've got the elbow connection in your practice, if you've got a bind in your practice. But first and foremost, our twisting must have a lengthened spine and a neutral pelvis. Make sure you're not just overdoing it and twisting with the neck. Maybe close your eyes for your last few breaths if they were open. Find deeper breaths. Longer exhales. And then just complete this round. Just unwinding when you come back. Before we go to the other side, legs out in front of you, realigning ourselves back to symmetry. So you're just reaching those legs out, pulling the shoulders back, lifting the chest and breathing in. And then we are bending into that right leg. Legs down in front of us. Left leg goes across or just in the center. Knees in front of us and we're pulling ourselves forwards. So this preparation for the twist is very important. You want to make sure you've got weight equal into both bum cheeks, that the pelvis is neutral, that your spine is lengthened and you're not compressing or rounding. Right. Shoulders are relaxed. Breathe in. Keep the one hand there, twist over to the leg, take the hand down. We go slowly into it, especially if you are able to do binds, take it step by step. Very important to get the brain and the muscles to communicate first before just jumping in the deep end. All right, if a hook is in your practice, go for a hook. And of course, if the elbow-knee connection is there, you use that. Sometimes the arms can take us a little bit too far for what our body wants. So it's always a good idea just to try get into a position like with a seated forward fold. Get in there without the hands. The twist as well. Get in there first, using the muscles of the torso, and then we bring the arms. And if the eyes weren't closed, close them. And just observe what's happening around your twist. If you're struggling to breathe, the body's giving you a signal that you need to come out slightly. If you're either in too far or you've been in for too long. And that's going to change from day to day. So just listen to your breath. You're still able to hold the breath smooth. Deep. Then you get to hold. We're all just going to stay here for one more round. And you're unwinding, coming out of it. From the top down. Again, legs out in front. This is very important to get ourselves back into symmetry after asymmetrical postures. It doesn't have to be for long, but you'll always notice there will be something like this, even if it's just for an inhale, before moving on. And you're going to get off the blocks now. Have one nearby still. Come to be in the middle of your mat. Legs can be wide or together. We're going to have a lovely long stretch all the way up. And then just rounding down through the spine, painting your vertebrae into your mat one at a time. Bring your block with you now as you reach back. And you're going to have the block between the hands. Try not grip with the fingertips. So you're pressing with the palms, which starts to activate a lovely line in the arms. And you'll see in a moment how we can use that just to intensify our core work. So we're going to reach those arms back overhead and keep pressing the palms into the block. It should be quite challenging. You should feel certain muscles in the arms engaged. You're going to take a nice long breath in and out here. Then engaging your core. You can bend your knees first if that's better for your back. And then we're going to lift the legs off the mat. Your option, if you're wanting a little bit more of a gentler practice today, keep your knees bent. If you're wanting a very strong practice, you can straighten your legs as if you're standing on the ceiling. Now we're holding this as you bring your arms up as well. So I'm going to take a mediocre version over here. And you're going to lift up your chest as well. So we're trying to lift the bra strap, for those who wear bras. Trying to lift that bra strap up off the floor as well. Squeezing those hands together. Squeeze the legs as well. Take another breath. And we're going to come back down. Reach the arms overhead again. Breathe in and out. And we're bringing those arms back, lifting the chest. Now, you're going to keep the left leg where it is and straighten the right leg down. Hold it here. And then we switch the legs. Now, try not to move anything else. We do that one more time. Right leg goes down, left leg up. Lift the block a little higher. And switch. Bring both legs all the way up. Take a breath in. Then place the block between the thighs. Hands behind the head. Bend your knees. And then place the feet down. Place the head down. And just rest into your hands. Widen your elbows. And breathe. So that block between our legs now is ready for a bridge. If you want to walk your feet a little closer up to your bum, you can. You're going to take your hands away from your head, place them down on your mat, tucking your tail between your legs. You're going to lift the bum and lift the lower spine up the mat. We're going to come back down and just do that 2 more times before we hold our bridge. We're going to synchronize breath to movement in the next 2 rounds. So all the way down now. Next, inhale, push into your toes, push into your heels, tuck your tail, lift your bum. Lift, 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 and exhale, paint it back down. Making sure that your jaw and your shoulders are relaxed. Do 1 more round like that, full breath round. Inhale, tuck and lift. All the toes are gripping into the mat. Now squeeze your block, coming back down. And the next time you inhale and lift up, stay there. Now squeeze the block. It's going to engage inner thighs, which helps to activate the core as well. For those who want to go to extended bridge, you walk your arms underneath you. Please stay looking up at this point, not around. And then you can lift the rib cage even higher. Make sure you're not jamming chin to chest. There's still breath that's able to move through the body. The knees are squeezing the block. Take another breath. And we're going to release those shoulder blades away from each other, releasing your grip and lowering the spine. Removing the block out from between the legs. And then you're going to come back into a bridge by lifting up your hips again, taking the block either onto the lowest level. You can try all of them and then decide, placing your pelvis back down, or lifting it up and taking it to the middle level, placing it back down. Now, I wouldn't really recommend going to the highest level of the block unless you are incredibly flexible and strong at the same time, because you've got to be able to hold yourself there to a certain degree. So either the lower or the middle level will be absolutely sufficient, very beneficial. If you're wanting to relax the legs as well here, you can just walk your feet wide so that your knees can come to point in slightly. Otherwise, just resting with the legs as they were, trying to allow the pelvis to really be supported by the block. Just taking deep breaths into the belly with the eyes closed, arms flopping down next to you, arms flipped up. Just observing your heart rate. Observing any sensations in the body. Just doing a bit of a scan. Take it slow though, going through the parts of the body. Just gonna have 2 more breath rounds here. And then pushing into the feet again. Just lift the pelvis up off the block. Remove the block. And slowly paint that spine back down with the pelvis coming to rest as well. A breath cycle with the bum on the floor. And then bringing the knees into your chest and just giving yourself a hug as you rock from side to side. All right, so we are going to come back up to sitting and just do some more static postures. So you can just lift the bum and lower it, lift the bum, lower it. And eventually get enough momentum lifting the head, then down, lift the bum, lift the head, then lift the bum. And eventually just rocking all the way to sitting, doing a few of those rolls up and down. So we've been lying down for a little bit. We just want to prepare our body before we come all the way up. And if you know you've got some blood pressure constraints, then please just take this even slower. You can sit for a moment, but for those who are fine, we are going to take all ourselves all the way back into a down dog without the blocks, just to invert the body in a different way, activating the legs and the hands again. Take another breath, and then come down to your knees, sit back on your heels, just so that we can prep our blocks again. Because mine are all over the place, I don't know about you. But if you had your blocks ready with you and they're good to go, then you can just stay in your down dog. So we're not going to have the blocks under our hands for down dog, but we're going to use it as a transition pose for our pigeon and recline pigeon. So we're back to our down dog. Once you have your blocks at the front of the mat, rest there for a moment, 2 breaths. Now very slowly on your inhale, lift your right leg. It's a transition. So be mindful of what's happening. Knee to chest, come forwards, pause. Shift the knee to the right elbow. Bring the ankle as high up to the left elbow as possible. Place the leg down. Now, please don't ever pull your leg forwards. If you feel, oh, I'm way too close to my hands, walk back with the knee. Little steps, little steps, little steps, little steps, until you feel, I'm getting my stretch here. Then we just move around a bit. Now, pigeon pose is not necessarily the most comfortable for everybody, but it's very beneficial. So if we can use the blocks to prop us up, we can hopefully be there a little bit longer. So the one block, you're going to take and place it underneath your back hip. The other block, you're going to place it in front of your thigh. So I'll show you from the other side. Staying where you are and just getting yourself comfortable. So here was the transition. It was a lift. Knee came in. I opened up the thigh, knee and ankle behind the wrists. Then I just did a little shimmy walk back. Right, so you now have one block underneath the leg or the bum, depending on how flexible you are. And then you have the other one in front of the thigh. And then we're going to prop ourselves onto our fingertips and just wiggle around. Okay, so we're going to do two versions of this. Please listen to your body as well, and you're just going to take it to where you're most comfortable. So if this is working for you, you want to stay here, stay here. Otherwise, you're coming forwards onto your hands, keep wiggling side to side. Maybe you're on your elbows. Now, if one of those blocks is no longer doing anything, or it's getting in the way, you can remove it and bring it for the forehead, which is a nice option for those who struggle to be down any further and hold. So we want to be able to still breathe and be comfortable. Try all these different ways and just see what works for you. If the medium block height isn't working, the lower block height might. For some people, maybe even a high block height. You want to stay on your elbows. All right, otherwise you can keep them where they are, under the legs, and just hang the head. Here's our reclined pigeon. We're just going to stay here for another breath. And then if the block was underneath the head or the forehead, take it back and have the blocks underneath the legs as we prepped. So one underneath the bum or the leg on the side, and one underneath the thigh, the leg that's extended backwards. Come back onto the fingertips, open up. Now here is a preparation for our full pigeon or our king pigeon. Bend the back leg, and you take hold with one hand or with both hands. Now the idea with the blocks is, especially if you're very flexible, it's allowing you to lift. It's teaching you to lift and engage and not just sink into the posture and overstretch. And then if you are quite tight, it might just give you that extra support. It is a strong posture though, so you're just taking 2 more breaths. And however you came in, you now reverse. We remove the blocks. And to come out of this safely, we just reverse what we did. So we shimmy and walk that back knee in until we feel I've got the weight in the hands, I can press into my plank, we straighten the back leg, we say take our 3-legged dog again, just to reach and open up that knee area. Inhale. Leg goes down to exhale, hold. Deep breaths in and out. Here's our reset in symmetry. Next inhale, left leg lifts. And knee to chest shift forwards, open the knee up and the ankle. Knee and ankle go behind the wrist as much as possible, place it down. Back knee down, walk the leg back. There we go. So that's the safest way of getting in. Once you're there, do a little bit of wriggling around. Maybe you're too far, maybe you can go further. Listen to your body. One block in front of the thigh, other block under the bum, or just lower down. And this all depends on hip flexibility and mobility. So you're working with your body, not your neighbor's body. Okay, side to side little wiggles. This helps us just ease into it. You're welcome to stay here the whole time, or you can keep walking forwards, maybe drop into the elbows, maybe just fold all the way down. If you're able to recline fully, the back block, even the front block might not be serving you. It depends on how open your hips are. Try having one block height underneath the forehead. Very soothing for the nervous system to have a bit of pressure onto our pituitary gland or our chakra. We take another breath in and out. And slowly come up again. If the block was under your forehead, just prop them back. Give it a try, even if you don't need the blocks. Give the blocks a try first. Bend the back leg. We take hold of the ankle or the foot, if that's in your practice. Otherwise, you just stay lifted with the leg down. And you're opening up the chest, kicking back into the hands, lifting up. We try not to sink down over here too much. Lift up. Take another breath. Slowly release. Removing those blocks. We're coming out with control. So you walk the back knee in, shoulders above wrists, back leg straightened. So you're in a 3-legged plank. All you do is hover the knee, take it back to 3-legged dog, breathing in, down dog, breathing out. And our final flow without the blocks, really coming forwards. Now you can do this on the knees. All right, dropping down, opening to your up dog. And we're doing child's pose from here. This time, knees together, feet together, unless you need to widen the knees for whatever reason, hands next to the body. our full child's pose. Surrendering, dropping the head, breathing in and out. Taking 2 more long breaths in. Releasing breaths out. Now, that last exhale, coming up again, restacking your spine. You're going to make your way back onto your back. We're going to have a 1-minute Shavasana with the blocks. The blocks are going to be a lovely prep for full Baddha Konasana. You're first going to just find where they need to be before we lie down. And how you'll find that is if you just come into your butterfly position. The legs quite high. Let's see where they're supposed to be. Right. Wherever's the most comfortable for you. Even if you don't need the blocks, we're just going to use them for our Shavasana. And then you'll bring the legs out in front of you just a little bit more. You can have the soles still touching, but just slide them out a little bit forwards. Round your spine back. Once you're down, bring the soles back together. Widen the knees. And rest. If you need to adjust the blocks, of course you can. And then you're either just moving the hands out into the sides of the mat with the palms flipped up. Whenever you're feeling you need to support and ground a little bit more, if maybe feeling slightly vulnerable, just take the hands to touch the body. So one hand onto the belly area, one hand onto the chest. Let the elbows still sink back down onto the mat, even if the hands slide from the center off to the sides. As long as there's some connection onto the body, just help the energies to settle, the mind to ground. Just that physical closing off. Otherwise, the hands out to the side. So you choose. You're really going to allow the breath to settle the body now. So with your exhale, sink into the mat. Let the legs sink into the block. Following that rhythm of breath. Observing the back of your body as it connects into the mat, into the floor, into the earth beyond, completely held and supported. Being conscious of your next 3 rounds of breath. Bringing a little bit more length now into the exhale and into the inhale. Noticing how the body responds with deeper breaths. Taking your thumbs and gently rubbing the tips of all your fingers. Engaging movement again into the hands. Taking that movement into the toes as well, wriggling them. And then pressing the soles of the feet together. Find an activation coming up through the legs. Keeping that press as you bring the knees back to touch. And bringing them into the chest for a hug. Staying there for another round of breath. And just rolling onto any side, your favorite side today. Taking a moment, 2 rounds of breath, Just to observe how it feels in this position. And if you're feeling ready after that last exhale, just pressing into the floor of the mat to lift yourself up. Otherwise, take another 2 rounds of breath before coming back up to the seat. Moving slowly now, we'll meet back on our tower of blocks. 1 or 2. If you're already seated, we can close the eyes again. If you're still transitioning to a seat, take your time. All meet with the eyes closed anyways. Stay connected to the body, whether there's still movement happening, whether there's just the breath. That brings in a subtle movement anyways. So with our bums on the blocks, just observing that space that's in the hips. Feel that grounding from our tailbone, allowing us to lift up from there. From the base of your spine, from your bum, draw your awareness back up the spine, through the back, lengthening as you do through the shoulder blades, the back of the neck, the back of the head, right to the crown, where there's length that comes from the lift. Muscles relax, keeping your shape still. Face softens, jaw loosens, breath deepens. Holding this position with the eyes closed now. Take one hand to the belly, one hand to the chest. Connecting to the body, feeling your palms gently rising and falling as they synchronize with your breathing rhythm. Taking a moment to come back to the intention you set at the beginning of the class. And either resetting that intention now, going forwards, or perhaps that has served its purpose and you want to set a new intention. Take a moment now. And then to seal in that intention, bring the hands into prayer. The back of the thumbs gently press into the chest. And just bow your head down to your hands, silently, thanking yourself for this practice. Taking a final breath in and out here. And then releasing your hands, lifting your head. Blinking your eyes open to take in color, texture, shape, form. Thank you for your practice with the blocks today.